So, when Self began, the board was a master, a mistress, a daddy, a slave, a boy, a switch, and a few people who considered themselves kinky. They spanned the gender and sexual preference spectrum. The vision of Self was created in hopes that they could gather a fully diverse group of people, meaning all gender identities, all sexual preferences, all forms of chosen relationship structures. I get that it's very comforting to be with others who look like you look and think like you think. We all like validation. After all, to some degree, that's why we attend weekends like this. However, getting out of your comfort zone is where the greatest learning may be found. Self has resisted becoming a niche event. We value learning, and we value the opportunities to socialize with others who will respect our way of being and show us their way of being. Diversity offers incredible opportunity, and it fulfills the founding goal of Southeast Leatherfest. The goal is to explore yourself. And don't think for a moment that the founders, when they came up with that, I know for a fact, the moment it was said, they all broke into peals of laughter at the masturbatory possibilities. So, that phrase, explore yourself, it didn't say explore your mastery. It didn't say explore your kinkiness. It says explore yourself. Individualism, rarely valued in this world, actually is valued here. Self has built history, our own and throughout the Southeast. On June 14, 1996, during Southeast Leatherfest, it was decided by a meeting of 12 representatives from clubs and organizations involved in the leather, SM, fetish, and bear communities that the Southeast Conference of Clubs would form. The SECC thrived and was a powerhouse when it came out in the 90s. 30-plus organizations. There had been nothing like it before, and I am unsure there could even begin to be anything like that. And I, like Paula, was very blessed. I've been to a hell of a lot of runs where I was one of 3 women. And it didn't take long for the men there to understand that I was respected with reason and that I would give way. While I would be invited into certain spaces, I only entered those once. And even upon doing that, I told them only with the agreement that you don't talk to me. Let me sit in a corner. Don't talk to me. Let me be an object, because if you do, I change everything about this space. Don't do it. If you want me to know, that's how I'll know. Let me be there in that way. You know, we spent years at a different Ramada that used to be called the Kinky Ramada in Atlanta. Yes. There were banners that hung from 5-story hotel rooms, a pool in the middle, and then huge programming space on the other side. And those 5 floors, you would see people partying everywhere. And hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of people clad in full leathers or next to nothing, standing out in the sun in June. Yeah, I know. There is that moment of just how insane are we? But with that, that's a picture from one of the floors of the old Ramada. And while all of us here, I have no doubt, can imagine what that scene would look like, it was unimaginable then. Right out in the open, and this large gathering of size. It was extraordinary in 1995 and unexpected. Our history at times has been absolutely hilarious. I mean, honest to God, who would have thought that one year we would hold the contest in a circus tent? If you can see the stitching behind Girl Kim, that is a circus tent. Our contestants, they got dressed in a Winnebago. That's Nikki and Chelsea in that picture. They were with us from the beginning, and those were our tally masters. That year, yes, I wore jean shorts to the contest. Not on purpose. It was a moment. Thankfully, no pictures exist at this moment. Yes, there is a God, quite possibly. And actually, if you look close at that one picture in the background, I do believe that would be Paula Smith and Sarah Humble doing what? Talking. Very little has changed. That same year, a contestant drove a Harley through the middle of the audience and then circled through the audience again. I can say in all honesty that after that moment in time, truly, very little has freaked me out since. Another priceless moment was when Mark Frazier and Samantha, Ms. Leather Pride 2000, gave us their all, literally, in 2001. Welcome to that year's fundraiser. We raised close to $5,000, and I'm pleased to say that I started that nasty mischief. I don't like it when shows go long, and I get bored. And so I called out, 500 for the children minus the pants. And Mark Frazier ended up on our stage with just his covering his bits. Whoa. You tell me our ticket price wasn't worth it that year.
Hell
yeah. And with that, Daryl Flick, are you here? Oh, perfect moment.
Can we auction him off? He's not in the room.
Well, I was going to say, given what these MCs did for us, I think he's had it easy all these years. Yes. We've been blessed with talent. One year, renowned artist Ray Castro created a one-of-a-kind stage for us. Huge blankets of industrial plastic rolled and hung in 150-foot ceilings, black and clears and the waves and arcs. Absolutely phenomenal in every way. It was mammoth, beautiful, and unique. That year, he also chose us for his last Kinky art exhibition, and that Thursday evening, his huge works hung everywhere. It was astounding. These are a few of the large-scale pieces from the last two slides that he displayed that year. Bill Stevenson, another artist, created whips with sterling silver inserts for our 15th anniversary. There were 5 of them that were engraved. We've had kinky carnivals with petting zoos that featured mermaids in pools, puppies, kitties, although we haven't had a lamb. We might have to work on that. On our 10th anniversary, a beautiful quilt was made that featured Jack Stice's picture and David Armstrong's picture that was sold to Sarah Humble and myself. It's on display this weekend outside of this room. Self has had many collarings, cappings, covering ceremonies, engagements, and weddings. We've taken thousands of cherries, and I have no doubt we are going to pop a few more. We've had so many titles and participated in every major title system in the last 20 years that existed in the country. That participation has brought so much richness to our experience, and this year we've added a new contest, Southeast Person of Leather. That system promises to be exceptional. They don't define your leather. You bring your style, your way of being to that title. Now that is a fit for Self, past and present. We opened our contest to all gender variances in 2005, years ahead of the rest of the country. We had legions of pro-doms who fully supported Self through fundraising efforts and events during our weekend that were named Spank Tales. We welcomed them as valuable members of the community, while others may have treated them, shall we say, with suspicion. We know pro-doms need a place to play also, because our doors are open. We've had cabarets, carnivals, Sweet 16 dances, black rooms, and a one-year title for creating a dessert. The current and only title is Liza's Slave Jody, and she will always be known as the sweetest perv in the South, and that was the booty, the hat that she's wearing. I have to say, I was deeply delighted yesterday when you said, do I get a step down, and then quickly had it, but I'm not giving up the hat. Our programming changes every year, and we aren't afraid to fail. We'd rather try. We invent, we innovate. We're the first contest in the country to successfully include our attendees in selecting our title holders. A contest that uses digital voting and allows its attendees to participate was unheard of. Now, we can't imagine doing it without you. Not everything about Self's 20 years has been wonderful. When I came on board, we were $19,000 in debt, and Self almost crashed, burned, and disappeared. We were committed to not allowing this organization to tank. We were so broke, the Jack Stice Community Service Award that year had to be made with paper when it was presented to David Palm. It still hangs on his wall to this day, and it doesn't matter that it was paper because he knows what it means. We fundraised, we produced 4 mini events during the year, pinched pennies, and in a little over a year paid off our debts, as well as the outstanding debts left in this town by Mass 99. The hotels had trouble giving us contracts. They thought we were Mass 99. So we paid their 4 figures of debts that they left behind to clear the way so Self could have contracts. We have paid that debt, cleared the way forward. We have been reported to the police. We have protected our participants by hiring the police from the precinct who took the complaint. Not every moment has been wonderful. Not every decision has been a good one. Not every moment can be perfect, nor should it be. And we are a strong enough organization that we don't have to fake it. We don't have to pretend that we were something we were not. Sometimes, though, we need heroes. Many heroes disappoint, but sometimes they don't. Jack Stites, Victoria Gayden, Nikki Stipe, David Armstrong, Jamal and Reggie, Chris Bonner, and Joseph Blair, just to name a few people who stood by their communities and realized a vision. Sometimes we hear so much about the good old days that things were seemingly better. I'm going to say these people I mentioned inspire me. I was fortunate to know them, but it's not just the good old days. I'm inspired by the heroes I see now. In my book, they are named Miss Betty, Jack, Cynthia, Tracy, Christine, Lazarus, Miss Alexa, Master Blue, Slave Sherry, Boy Randy, Boy Harley, Sir Brian, Red, Mistress Ned, Mike, Nick, and Trayson. I know you hear from me every year about how these people throw down hundreds and thousands of hours working to make self happen. That's worthy, but they exceed the vision. I've seen these people have each other's back when things were difficult and hard and they were exhausted and people were saying things to them that were not constructive for the event, but an actual terrible statement of perhaps the state of their character. They work, they manage their lives, and they work here and do it beautifully. They have each other's back in deed, not merely in word. I think this board and each member of their families who also work the event and assist during the year is every inch as inspirational as the founding board members of SELF, and I knew them, and trust me, it is saying a lot. Hundreds of people have contributed to erecting a needed vision, not of tolerance or mere acceptance of difference. We are a gathering where curiosity, individual kink, and personally decided relationships of vast difference are the norm. It's exciting and encouraging to be at an event where each person is respected. Respect is not a leather concept. No group has singular leverage on the concept of respect. SELF will remain an event where no one is diminished for their interest or their course of personal exploration. We will hold the vision that tolerance and acceptance is not enough. Respect is the measure. I believe it is a foundational principle that allows SELF to be so rightly known as a friendly, warm event where if you arrive as a stranger, you will leave with connections that will last a lifetime. When I say we, I am not talking about a board whose privilege it is to serve you. I am talking about every one of the thousands of attendees, sponsors, and volunteers for the last 20 years. SELF and its participants have erected a vision of exploration for 20 years. And we're not done yet. SELF is looking forward to the next 20 years of learning, courageously exploring ourselves and inventing something new. This is your SELF. This event has continued due to your willingness to explore the depth of who you are. SELF is the oldest continuing event of its size in the Southeast, and we will continue to be here exploring the many textures of SM, BDSM, MS, DS, leather, and kinky people. Thank you for being the people who understood the real measure, respect. Thank you for exceeding the vision of the few and becoming the vision of the many. It has been a privilege to serve you for 20 years. We are yourself where you explore yourself. Thank you.